Welcome to another episode of Young Money. My name is Nozi Pombanjwa, and no, I'm not in the wilderness as you might think. Instead, I am standing next to the youngest CEO that I have ever interviewed. His name is Nadav Ossendryver. He is the CEO of Latest Sightings, a company he started at the tender age of 15. He's 19 years old now, and he's adding extra value to the safari experience. Let's find out how Nadav is doing this. Nadav, what a pleasure
Thank you. Thank you so much for wanting to speak to me.
Let's go back. 15 years old. Where are you? What's happening before you come up with this brilliant idea?
So yeah, I mean, when I was 15 years old, I had been going to Kruger for quite a few years. By then, I moved to South Africa when I was 8, and my family wanted to give me the African experience by going to the bush. And so we went to the Kruger. And that trip, the first time I saw a lion, I just fell in love with it. We saw this pride of lions. It was an amazing feeling, to turn the corner and we just saw something incredible. And when I was 15, we went there and we just had a quiet trip.
Yeah.
So, we weren't seeing that much.
Quiet trip, you're not seeing the big five,
Yeah,
you're just spotting randomly.
Yeah, I mean, we're driving around the whole day and, we're just not seeing as much, it was really quiet. And so I begged my parents to stop cars and asked them if they've seen anything interesting, wanted to know how their day's been.
Yeah.
And everyone had a really quiet time. It seemed like no one was seeing anything. But always in my head, I was thinking right now, the Kruger's huge. Someone's looking at a lion or someone's looking at a leopard or someone's looking at something interesting. But it wasn't me. And so I wanted to know where they were. And hopefully, if people were around, they could go and have amazing sightings and maximize their trip. And so when I was 15, I thought let's maybe make an app, for people to share sightings. So
you're back from the Kruger. I'm assuming you're 15, so you're in school.
Yeah.
So where are you finding the time to come up with this innovation?
So thank goodness when I thought of this, it was the December holidays, and I'd just come back from the Kruger. So I thought, I feel like doing this, maybe it can help people see more.
Yeah.
And also if they see more, they'll have a better time. And so I had 3 weeks of the December holidays. And I phoned up an app development company. I looked on Google. And I said, is there any way we could do this? And they're like, yeah, it's just going to be about 200 or 300,000 rand. I was 15, probably got 100 rand pocket money.
And
or
what
something.
did mom and dad say when you came home and hey guys, I might need 300,000 rand?
Yeah, I didn't actually even tell them about this. I didn't think it was going to be big. I just thought maybe if we could be told about sightings around us, it could help. I never thought anything like this. And yeah, I mean, I didn't have any money on me, so I thought.
So how did the process come together?
So when I remember telling the developer, I said, thanks, I'll try and do it myself.
Yeah.
And as I put down the phone, I went onto YouTube and literally typed how to make an app.
No.
And after that, I kind of went further down the rabbit hole and was like, okay, how to make an app where people can share stuff and how to do this and that. And yeah, I taught myself how to program a bit, and I had no experience. I promise you, I didn't have any coding experience. People think I'm a coder or whatever. I had nothing. And so the one thing that I realized is that to be able to make an iPhone app, because I had an iPhone at the time, Android wasn't that big.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make an iPhone app. And the one thing I realized was I needed a Mac. And so again, with support, I just phoned my friend and I asked him, can I just borrow your Mac for 3 weeks?
Yeah.
And I'll give it back to you. I just have an idea.
And today we're looking at a company that has in excess of 12 million hits on YouTube today.
Yeah.
Just give me a sense of how well and how big the business has grown in the last 5 years.
So one thing why I think this business has grown, or Latest Sightings has grown, it's because what we try and focus on is providing value and helping people, whether it's in the park or people who have never been to the Kruger or any game reserve and are living overseas and just miss the park and stuff like that. We tell you about amazing sightings that are happening every single day, whether it's a leopard sleeping in the road or lions up a tree, which is really unusual, stuff like that. And so we're really giving people value. And with the world today, there's so much going on that if you could take a second and enjoy wildlife, people are already responding to that. And so I think because we focus on that, and because we focus on helping people in the park, but also kind of entertaining people by sharing amazing stuff, that people are sharing it with their friends who also maybe feel the same way about wildlife.
And the world has paid attention because you've scooped some really, really amazing accolades. So let's have a bit of a humble brag. Give me a sense of what are the biggest things you've clinched that you're very proud of for you and your team?
Yeah, I mean, again, thank you for mentioning the team. It's not only me, it's, you know, I'm the founder of it, so obviously a lot of the credit goes to me, but it's really the community that's helped me achieve all this. So it's obviously thanks to the community, but thanks to them, you know, amazing stuff has happened to me. Like one, I've gotten to meet, shake hands with President Obama when he was in South Africa. Last year, I got to have like a 5-minute conversation with Prince Harry. And also, like, we were just discussing about wildlife and how we can work together and stuff like that. I hope, you know, I don't know if anything's going to come out of it, hopefully, but just to be able to have that respect, you know, from such a higher people.
Yeah.
A few that really highlights for me, like, how much people also care about later sightings was when I was invited to be the keynote speaker at Facebook opening South Africa. Yeah, I mean, you know, Mark Zuckerberg kind of showed later sightings to the team in Menlo Park in
that's awesome.
their headquarters of Facebook. So again, to get recognition like that, you know, is incredible. You know, Google, we have such strong relationship with them. Also, like just helping each other. So stuff like that have really has made me feel so cool and like, you know, like kind of acknowledged.
Yeah. So this started off as a one-man show. You and your borrowed MacBook, and we're in your offices today, and you have a team. So give me the sense of how do you handle leading a team when you're potentially the youngest one in it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm only 19, and like the experience that I have is nowhere near, I'm pretty sure, anyone else here. So leading a team, I think for me, it's just what I do, what comes natural to me. Like, especially on Facebook. I mean, leading leading people here, it's like 1 or 2, 5 people.
Yeah.
But I've learned so much leading hundreds of thousands of people, and I'm kind of using what I've learned there on one-on-one with people. And so, like,
awesome.
I find it's helped a lot. Again, I'm not perfect. I think there's a lot still to learn, but as being a leader of the team, you know, it's so much fun because, you know, we're working together. Again, it's a team. I'm not telling them what to do. We're thinking of stuff together, and yeah. But again, you know, as the leader, I have to make the decisions, which are sometimes difficult. But yeah, you have to learn and
so
and how
I
to deal with
noticed
these
that
things.
your uncle is part of the team, and I know that working with family comes with all sorts of complexity. So hypothetically speaking, you want to fire him. How are you going to work around that?
So I probably won't. No, but I mean, the reason why I really love working with family, I haven't had it otherwise. I've never, you know, this is the first thing really I've started up. And working with family, I think, has just been incredible. Obviously, a lot of people aren't family here, but the people who help me run it and the directors are all family, and it just makes it so much better because you can open up that much more. You know what I mean? When things are hard or stuff like that, or we know that they fully support, and it's not only about, you know, making the most money. It's actually, you know, being able to have a relationship and kind of open up to what I'm actually thinking without, you know, being scared of what that guy thinks. So
it really sounds like the family is very important to the journey that you've been. What do you think has perhaps been the biggest contributor that they've made to this journey of 5 years that you've been on?
So I'll never forget the first sighting I ever received, like in that December holidays. I remember jumping up and down in my house, screaming, "Hey, I got a lion sighting!" And I'll never forget, my mom was like, "Okay, what is that?" And the fact that she was like, "What is that?" You know, I kind of told her what I'd started, and both my parents, like my mom and dad, were like, "What? That's amazing," and stuff like that. And you know, again, it was during the holidays, and they were just so supportive. And imagine, like, I know a lot of parents, or you know, try and tell their kids, no, just rather focus on school, and then when you finish, do this, or you know, and kind of, you know, they're kind of telling them what to do. And I feel that for me, the freedom and the support that I've had has been huge. And I mean, like my dad, you can't find a bigger fan than him. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're just so supportive, and so I feel that having that family and that support has just done huge amounts of
so advice to other young entrepreneurs watching Young Money right now and that are struggling with getting their idea or their concept off the starting blocks. What would you tell them in terms of how to get started?
So for me, it was, I've always had like an obsessive personality. So like when I had something, an idea, I kind of had that self-motivation to kind of research and do that. But again, I think it's the execution. A lot of people have this idea, and like a lot of my friends also, like they tell me about these ideas, and we need to actually, make that idea a reality. The execution is the thing that cuts a lot of people off. They want to, like, they think we have to make a business plan, we have to do this, we have to do this. I mean, when I was 15, I didn't know what a business plan was. I didn't know any of this. I just kind of, let's make this app, see if people would join, see if people love Kruger and stuff like that. And so I think there are a lot of things that like corporate America teaches people. Business plans and stuff like this,
funding.
And
you sort of brought that back into South Africa, and it doesn't always fit.
And it scares people. Like even me today, like business plan, it's like, like let's have, we have to have one kind of thing. But it's scary even for me, and even though it just puts people off because they think like, what happens if it doesn't work? You know, and it's that risk that I think that like the formal stuff like that puts people off because they're scared it's going to fail. And so I think people should just go ahead. If they believe in it, obviously, and they have to have passion for it, but if they do, they have all those things, and execution is the biggest thing.
Someone once said to me, if you're going to fail, you need to fail fast so that you can get up and start again. And I think that's perhaps one of the things that young people have, is that fear of failure, whereas there's nothing wrong with failing. You just need to do it quickly so you can start again. Yeah,
so, I mean, I don't know. I think the fear of failure is huge, obviously, but a lot of people don't think about what happens if they succeed, and you know what I mean? And I think people don't look at that. And to fail quickly, I don't know. Obviously, things take time. I mean, later sightings, it feels like it's blown up overnight, like thinking back. But I mean, it did take quite a while to get the idea out. And I mean, in that time, you have to persevere. You have to think like, okay, it's not working. Why isn't it working? And if you feel like nothing you can do that you can change, then maybe, you should like kind of look if it's going to work ever, because a lot of the time when people are passionate about something, they will stick with it no matter what. And I think that's good. I mean, obviously a lot of the time, things do take time.
Nadav, final question. It's 2016, February. We're here. Give me a sense when I meet up with you again, 5 years from now, what kind of conversation are we going to be having, and where will we be?
So right now we're focused on parks in South Africa, and so I'm really hoping that within 5 years we'll hopefully be in parks overseas, because the amount of good that later science is doing, not only with helping people see more wildlife, it's actually helping animals. When you see a snare, an animal that's injured, within minutes, within split seconds, rangers get these reports and can go out and save them. So in Kruger, just this week, unfortunately, we've managed to save so many animals from snares. I'm saying unfortunately that they have snares, not that we save them, obviously. But so I feel that hopefully in 5 years, or even by the end of this year, when we kind of established in more parks around the world, like bears in America and stuff like that, we can also just create more awareness for wildlife, but use that to educate people and save these animals, I'm hoping.
Well, there you have it. The youngest CEO that I have ever interviewed, 19 years old, started this amazing business 5 years ago. And of course, it says in the next 5 years, and maybe just as soon as the end of the year, we will be talking about a global play. Thank you for making the time to join us on Young Money. Now, remember, if you want the Young Money crew to come to you, all you need to do is just drop me a tweet. Follow me at @TheRealNozi. And of course, the hashtag is YoungMoney410. You can also follow us at CNBC Africa. Until next time, keep it real and keep it rich.